Good morning students. Welcome to session 7 on the Riemann integration. In the today's session, so it is very important. This is the necessary and sufficient condition for the Riemann integrability. That is take one theorem. A bounded function f is integrable on the interval a comma b if and only if for each epsilon greater than 0 there exists a partition p of a comma b such that UPF minus LPF is less than epsilon. This theorem is very important here. This one is important. Let us take the proof. So this you have to prove UPF minus LPF is less than epsilon. That is upper Riemann sum minus lower Riemann sum is less than epsilon. First suppose that f is R integrable, because here it is given, no? If and only if means first you have to take here f is integrable, then UPF minus LPF is less than epsilon, and in conversely you have to take this one UPF minus LPF is less than epsilon, then you have to prove that it is R integrable. So first suppose that here f is R integrable on a comma b. So it is Riemann integrable means lower Riemann integral is equals to upper Riemann integral. It is equals to integration from a to b f of x dx. This is the definition of Riemann integral or R integrable. Take this one as equation number 1. So we know by the definition that here this is upper Riemann integral a to b f of x dx is equals to infimum of UPF for all p belongs to p of a comma b. Take this one as second equation. And lower Riemann integral is equals to supremum of LPF for all p belongs to p of a comma b. Take this one as third equation. These are all the definitions of lower Riemann integral, upper Riemann integral, and this one is the R integral or Riemann integral. Again, by the definition of infimum and supremum, we have for a given epsilon greater than 0. So even infimum of UPF plus epsilon by 2 cannot be a lower bound. So this is from the definition of infimum and supremum we have here, and supremum of LPF minus epsilon by 2 can be an upper bound. So these are the definitions of infimum and supremum. So therefore this implies there exist a partitions p1 and p2 of a comma b such that here UP1f is less than infimum of UPF plus epsilon by 2, and it is equals to, here we know this infimum of UPF is nothing but here upper Riemann integral a to b f of x dx plus epsilon by 2, and LP2f is greater than these two we have studied in this one Darboux theorem. So LP2f is greater than supremum of LPF minus epsilon by 2, and we know this supremum of LPF is lower Riemann integral a to b f of x dx and this minus epsilon by 2. So on using equation 1 here, so equation 1 is what here? Equation 1 is Riemann integral, no? So it is this implies here UP1f is less than here less than this lower Riemann integral is same as here R integral. It is a to b f of x dx plus epsilon by 2 as it is. Take this one as equation number 4, and this LP2f is greater than, and this lower Riemann integral is again same as R integral. We can take this one as here integration from a to b f of x dx minus epsilon by 2. So this implies what here? This implies, we can write this one in like this also. This implies integration from a to b f of x dx minus epsilon by 2 is less than, no, this is less than LP to f. So that is here integration from a to b f of x dx is equals to, take this epsilon by 2 in this side becomes LP to f plus epsilon by 2. Take this one as equation number 5. Suppose here P is the union of P1 and P2. That is here P1 is contained in P and P2 is also contained in P. Union means it is the combination of both. So means this is the bigger set, no? So this implies here P1 is contained in P and P2 is also contained in P. Then UPF is less than or equals to UP1F here, because here this is P1 is contained in P. So that is here P is contained in P dash, and UP dash F is less than or equals to UPF. So it is less than integration from a to b here. We know UP1F from equation number this one here. UP1F is less than a to b, no? Integration from a to b f of x dx plus epsilon by 2 from equation number 4. And which is less than we know integration from a to b f of x dx in equation number 5 is less than LP2f plus epsilon by 2 and this epsilon by 2 as it is. That is from equation number 5. So it is nothing but here less than LP2f plus sum of these two is epsilon, and it is less than or equals to LPF plus epsilon here, because here P is contained in P dash or P1. We can take here P1. This implies here LPF is less than or equals to LP dash F, or we can take here P1 also. Both are same. So this, that is here UP1F, that is here that is UPF is less than or equals to LPF plus epsilon here. This is UPF is less than or equals to LPF plus epsilon, or we can take this on this side. It becomes here UPF minus LPF is less than or equals to epsilon. We can take less than or equals to, both same here. So this is first part here. So what we have done here, we have taken here as if f is R integrable, then we have proved here UPF minus LPF is less than or equals to, notice we can take here less than or equals to, we can take here is equals to, less than or equals to epsilon we can take here. Then conversely suppose that you take this one and you prove f is R integrable. Conversely, suppose that for a given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a partition P of a comma b such that UPF minus LPF is equals to epsilon. It is less than or equals to, we can take here equals to epsilon, and you take this one as equation number 6. And we know that here LPF is less than or equals to, we know this LPF is less than or equals to lower Riemann integral, and it is less than or equals to upper Riemann integral, and it is less than or equals to UPF. This we studied here in previous theorem. So take this one as equation number 7. And also here minus LPF is greater than or equals to minus lower Riemann integral f of x dx, because here we know this, here only we have see here it is less than. If you take minus, it becomes this inequality becomes reversal. That is here we know here, suppose here if 2 is less than 5, if you take minus, then what happens here, minus 2 is greater than minus 5. So like that here if you take minus, and it becomes this less than or equals to becomes what here, it becomes greater than or equals to, and take this one as equation number 8. Now consider this is upper Riemann integral a to b f of x dx minus lower Riemann integral a to b f of x dx is less than or equals to UPF minus LPF. This is from equations 7 and 8 here. So it is equals to, this implies upper Riemann integral a to b f of x dx minus lower Riemann integral a to b f of x dx is equals to is less than epsilon here, because we have seen here UPF minus LPF is equals to, we have taken here as epsilon. So since epsilon greater than 0 is arbitrarily very small, so therefore we can choose 0 as the quantity which is less than epsilon, because if epsilon is very small, so we can take here 0 as a quantity which is less than epsilon. So therefore we can take here integration from a to b upper Riemann integral f of x dx minus lower Riemann integral a to b f of x dx is equals to, here instead of epsilon we can take this one as here, we can take this one as equals to 0 here. This is again here same, no? Less than or equals to it is, no? So it is equals to 0. What this implies here? This implies integration from a to b f of x dx upper Riemann integral is equals to lower Riemann integral. And we know upper Riemann integral equals to lower Riemann integral means it is a Riemann integral. Hence f is a R integrable, or it is a Riemann integrable, or we can take it as here a to b f of x dx upper Riemann integral is equals to lower Riemann integral is equals to integration from a to b f of x dx. So this is the R integrable. So this is the definition of a R integrable or Riemann integrable. So this is about the proof of this theorem. This theorem is very important. The necessary and sufficient condition for a function f to be Riemann integrable is UPF minus LPF is less than or equals to epsilon. So this is the proof of this theorem. Let us take one example in this. If f is defined on 0, 1 by f of x equals to x for all x belongs to 0, 1, then show that f belongs to R of 0, 1 and also prove that integration from 0 to 1 f of x dx is equals to 1 by 2. So means here f is Riemann integrable in this interval and you have to prove its integration is equals to 1 by 2. So if you do this one directly, in one step you will get the solution, because here f of x is what? Here f of x is x. So f of x is x, no? Here it is f of x is x and its integration is what? Here integration of x is x square divided by 2. Between the limits 0 and 1, between the limits 0 and 1 means what? Here x square by 2 means 1 by 2 minus 0. It is 1 by 2. In one step you will get the solution, but using this Riemann integration you have to prove this one here. Let us take p is equals to, you divide this in partition, partition 0, 1 in n subintervals. 0, 1 no? 0, 1 by 2, n, 2 by n, 3 by n, etc. up to r minus 1 by n, r by n, lastly n by n is equals to 1. This 0 to 1 we have divided in n subintervals. Be any partition of 0, 1. For any subinterval IR equals to, let us take this subinterval here. Let us take this subinterval, this one, that is here r minus 1 by n, r by n. For r equals to here, r equals to 1, 2, etc. up to n. This is the general interval you have taken here. So we have, since it is increasing function, 0 to 1 means it is increasing function. So in increasing function, this interval here, this is maximum value and this one is the minimum value. So we have here upper value, this is supremum mr is, capital MR is r by m and small mr is r minus 1 by n. So that is here because f is increasing function. If the given function is increasing, this is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. So we can take infimum and supremum here. And also the length of interval delta r equals to upper value minus lower value here, r by n minus r minus 1 by n. That is here, this is what here, this is delta r is equals to capital MR minus small mr. It is equals to how much? 1 by n. Now UPF is equals to, we know UPF is what here, sigma r equals to 1 to n, capital MR delta r, upper Riemann sum is equals to sigma r equals to 1 to n. Here capital MR is r by n and small delta r is what here, length of interval is 1 by n. So it is equals to 1 by n square, because here the sigma is for only r. Now we can take 1 by n square outside. It is sigma r equals to 1 to n r. So expand this here. This 1 by n square as it is, sigma r equals to 1 to n means it is, put r equals to 1 here, 1 plus 2 plus 3 etc. up to n. It is equals to 1 by n square. We know this. I hope you studied this one in PUC. That is mathematical induction method. Sum of n numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 etc. up to n, we can also call it as sigma n. It is equals to n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So it is equals to n into n plus 1, n into n plus 1 divided by 2. That is 1 n get cancelled. It is simply n plus 1 divided by 2n here. UPF equals to n plus 1 divided by 2n. Now we have, this is upper Riemann integral 0 to 1 f of x dx is equals to infimum of UPF. This we know from the definition of a upper Riemann integral. And it is equals to limit as n tends to infinity UPF. That is here limit as n tends to infinity. UPF here is what here, n plus 1 divided by 2n. No? So here if you substitute n equals to infinity directly, it becomes infinity by infinity. It is indeterminate form. I hope you studied this one in first sem here, indeterminate forms. In that case you can simplify this one as here. Let us separate the terms here. This 1 by 2 I have taken it outside here. This is n divided by n. So that is here, what we have here is limit as n tends to infinity. It is 1 by 2 I have taken outside. This is n divided by n plus 1 by n. N get cancelled, it is 1. So it is 1 by 2 into 1 plus 1 by n. Now substitute n equals to infinity here. N equals to infinity if you substitute, then what happens here? 1 plus 1 by infinity is 0 it is. This is equals to 1 by 2 into 1 plus 0. 1 plus 0 is 1 only. It is simply is equals to 1 by 2. So that is here integration from 0 to 1. Upper Riemann integral is equals to 1 by 2. Now you have to find lower Riemann this is lower this is lower sum, that is LPF equals to sigma r equals to 1 to n small m r delta r. So here small m r is what here, r minus 1 divided by n, and delta r is 1 by n. That is again 1 by n square root take outside, sigma r equals to 1 to n r minus 1. So it is again same what here, put r equals to 1, it is 1 minus 1 is 0 plus 1 etc. up to put r equals to n, you will get n minus 1. So it is sigma n minus 1. Sigma n minus 1 is what here in this formula. So here we know sigma n is equals to n into n minus 1. No? So similarly we can have here sigma n minus 1 means put n is equals to n minus 1 in this formula. You will get here n minus 1 into n minus 1 plus 1 divided by 2. This is sigma n minus 1. So use the same formula here. So this is sigma n minus 1 is equals to this 1 by n square as it is, n minus 1 into n minus 1 plus 1 divided by 2. I hope this you understood this one, because here sigma n is equals to, we know this formula, sigma n equals to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. No? In place of n here, you just put n minus 1, you will get this result. So it is equals to like this here, and here this minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled, it is n minus 1 into n divided by 2. Again 1 n get cancelled, it is simply what we get here, and here you will get here this n and 1 n get cancelled, it is simply what here, it is simply n minus 1 divided by 2 n it is. Now lower Riemann integral 0 to 1 f of x dx is equals to, we know supremum of LPF. So that is here this is equals to limit as n tends to infinity LPF, and it is equals to limit as n tends to infinity. Here we know LPF equals to n minus 1 divided by 2n. If you substitute again n equals to infinity, it becomes infinity by infinity, that is indeterminate form. So that we can simplify this one. Let us take 1 by 2 outside and divide this one as we had in previous case. So that is, it is equals to n divided by n minus 1 by n. Here n get cancelled, it is equals to 1, and this 1 by n as it is. So when you apply the limit n equals to infinity, it becomes 1 by infinity becomes 0. So simply it is equals to how much? 1 by 2. That is here if you substitute limit, it becomes 1 by 2 into 1 minus 1 by infinity, it is 0 here. So it is equals to simply 1 by 2 into 1 minus 0, it is equals to 1 by 2. Take this one as equation number 2. So from equations 1 and 2, what we have here? Lower Riemann integral is equals to upper Riemann integral is equals to, both the values are same here, it is equals to 1 by 2. So as we know from the definition of Riemann integral, if lower and upper Riemann integrals are equal, then we can call it as a Riemann integrable, or we can also call it as R integrable on this interval 0, 1 here. So that is, this implies here f belongs to R of 0, 1. So next we have to find the value also, no, here. So further by the definition, we know this lower Riemann integral, that is lower Riemann integral equals to upper Riemann integral is equals to integration from 0 to 1 f of x dx, and all the values are equal, so we can take it as it is equals to, so what we got the value here as, it is 1 by 2 it is. So now we can compare this one here. Now from the figure we have here, we have a figure here, this is the function, the given function is what here, given function is f of x equals to x. F of x equals to x means it is a straight line, here. We know it is an equation of straight line ax plus b. We know here ax plus b, here ax plus b is equals to 0 is an equation of a straight line. If this b is equals to 0, means it passes through the origin here. So this, if this is constant is 0, then it passes through the origin. This is equals to 0 means this is an equation which passes through the origin. So f of x equals to x. So from this we can say here it is from 0 to 1, no, it is a triangle. So area of this shaded portion here, it is equals to 1 by 2 into base into height. So 1 by 2 into base. Base is from what here? 0 to 1. And height is also from 0 to, because here f of x equals to x. So this distance and this distance is same. So it is 1 by 2 into 1 into 1, and it is equals to 1 by 2. So like this we can find the value of here. This is the given function f of x equals to x is R integrable, and its integration is 0 to 1 f of x dx is equals to 1 by 2. So this is all about the solution. If you do this example directly, what will get here? It is the given question is what here, integration from 0 to 1 f of x dx is equals to, so here it is equals to 0 to 1 f of x, here is what here, it is given f of x equals to x, no, it is x dx. And when integration of x is, this is x square by 2 between the limits 0 and 1. That is here, that is what we have, it is equals to f of this one upper limit is 1, no, it is, this is 1 divided by, it is equals to 1 divided by 2 minus, it is minus 0. So means what here, 1 by 2 minus 0 is simply what, it is simply 1 divided by 2. So if you do this one directly, in one step you will get the solution, but using this Riemann integration we have to solve like this here. So this is all about this today's session. If you find any difficulties, then you can ask me. Thank you for watching this. Thank you very much.